Yes, good afternoon, officers. Time for today's current affairs videos, 6 November 2025. Before we start, we are going to launch a new batch on December 8th for Crash Course 2026 Preliminary. In this, what are we going to offer? We are going to offer 100 days of classes, special focus on previous year questions, 50 prelims, exclusive tests, recorded classes, complete CSAT and GS coverage, one-to-one personal mentorship also will be provided. Prelims revision booklets will be provided, 18 months of current affairs classes, prelims facts from UPSC toppers. All these things will be provided with you. The online course is 9,999, offline course is 14,999. These are all our toppers. If you want to be the next, please join us on December 8th. And for extra and heavy concession, use the code SRIRAM. That starts on December 8th, 8121191985. That is the number that you have to use for good concession. And 8 outs, you can call there. So first, let's look at the topics for today. The first topic for today is in present COP30 and moment of truth. Very important. Second, Kerala story and eradication of extreme poverty. Second important point. Agri-tech, a big part of FTA negotiation. Third important topic. Highest FPI sell-off signals raining confidence in India. Next, Chinese universities dominate QS Asia rankings. Switch down. So these are all the points which are available. So let's look at the first topic. In present COP30 and the moment of truth. Now in this, we have already done a lot of videos on that. So we'll just look at the context of it. First, in Brazil, Amazon region meeting has happened. So they want to look into all the benefits of it. So it is the 30th conference of parties. UNFCCC. That is a major discussion. Okay. Host is Brazil City in Belém City. That is where the meeting took place. First point. Basically, they were talking about all the climate commitments they had. Not just words, but real action is what they are talking about. That's the basic idea that they are looking for. So, you also have to get for prelims questions. Brazil hosted which 1992 also it hosted Rio of Brazil only was the host for it. So, we wanted a prelims question from this. Next, you have to understand for what context this is very important. You have to understand the context behind it. So, what are the key objectives for it? First, objectives. First, loss and damage fund is what they are looking at. That's the first thing that they want, loss and damage fund. Next, all the commitments for Paris Agreement. All the commitments for Paris Agreement, they want to finish it off as a developing group. Next, they want to end all kinds of deforestation. All kinds of deforestation by 2030, they want to do this. That's the next important task they are looking for. And then they want to do 3 times the renewable energy sources in all countries. That is another major commitment that the group has taken. And they want to do climate justice and CBDR. Common but differentiated rules, responsibilities. That is what they are looking for. These are the major objectives they are looking for from this meeting. You already know that why Amazon is very, very important. Amazon forest is considered to be the world's lungs because maximum trees are there, so it absorbs a lot of carbon dioxide, acts as a very good carbon sink, and gives us a lot of oxygen, not just for one country but for the whole one. But the problem is almost 25% of deforestation has happened, which is irreversible. that cannot be reversed. That is a major flaw that is going on for the human projects that people have taken. Next, it also has the problem of El Nino effect also plays a big role, and because of this, global warming, temperature increase. These are all the major problems from the Amazon direction that they are thinking. So this leads to a lot of destabilization, and all the rainfall cycles which are there will also get disrupted. So because of all these problems, rainfall patterns will change, and that is a big problem, because agriculture will be a big problem, because the rain targets will all get disturbed. That is a major reason. So what is India doing here? India, we already know, India is looking for net zero emissions by 2070. They want to do this. They want to reduce it by 2040 only actually. So they want to do 50% of this net zero emission by 2030 itself. That is what India is planning for fundamentally. Next, basically they are using the concept of life mission. This is a major point that the student has to write. Life mission, very important. Lifestyle for environment. So basically, because of this, what are the two advantages we are going to have? We have the concept of climate equity. Climate equity is one major reason, and we will have tech transfer from all different countries and participants, and they are looking for green energy and renewable sources. So these are all the directions that India is working for to make sure that it reaches all its goals. So they want to fundamentally balance. They want to balance growth and economy plus development. These are the major things that India is looking for. Basically, growth, economy as well as development without loss to anyone. Therefore, the major reason why India is not able to do as it has to do is basically fund. We always have fund crisis. So now with this meeting, they want to clear off this fund. That is the whole direction. So this is the analysis of the article. So all the notes which is required, I have put it. Top 30, scientific insight. That is the major direction we are looking for. All the important points are there. End of the video, mains as well as prelims questions, please try to answer them. Next important topic, Kerala story, eradication of extreme poverty, very, very important. Already I have done an article on this, but more analysis is required. First, Kerala. Now why is it? Because it has completely eradicated extreme poverty on 1st November. So, it is the first state to do it. The first state since independence. Now this has been formally declared that there is no extreme poverty in Kerala. So that is because of the EEP program, Extreme Poverty Eradication Program. Because of this, they were able to achieve this great task of removing extreme poverty from this one. The target was 4 years. In 4 years, they have done this. So that is an extraordinary thing that Kerala government has done. So what are the implementing bodies? Basically, the local administration has involved itself a lot. Kerala local, KLIP, which is nothing but Kerala Institute of Local Administration, and LSGD, Local Self Government Department. Kerala Local Self Government Department, LSGD. So all of them together have been successful in achieving this great program. So basically, because of this, what is the advantage? The first state to achieve SDG goal, eradicate poverty. Eradicate poverty. That has been beautifully achieved by Kerala. That is the first thing. At international level, this will be a beautiful thing to stay. Next, for this, they have put in task 4 lakh enumerators. That is the first thing. Therefore, a lot of people have actually done a lot of work for this. Basically, food, health, income and housing. Food, health, income, housing. These are the directions in which the field work has been done. So, food plus health plus income plus housing. These are all the directions in which the poverty was first identified. Then they have done extreme micro planning. This micro planning has led to the achievement. First, data collection, then micro planning was done from bottom up approach. Totally 60,000 individuals were verified from this, and this also included marginalized people, ante baga suppress aina people, marginalized people even without Aadhaar. Without Aadhaar card and proof also they have done complete analysis of those people. That is the reason they are proudly able to say that extreme poverty is completely removed. So what they have done specifically very beautiful is they have done a custom made plan. Custom made based on family. So each family had their own plan of action, and that actually was able to help all the marginalized people to come out of poverty very easily. So totally around 20,000 essential documents were given. 20K documents. 20K documents. Around 4K houses were built in this process by this eradication program. 20,000 documents, 4K houses. Then around 6K house repairs were done. 6K house repairs were done. So much work was done. And around 1,500 landless people were given land in this process. Because of this, the marginalized people got their homes, identity and all these things. And that program became a very successful program because it was an effort of so many people and a lot of survey was done. And that is the reason why the success was given. So basically, what they have done, first, extreme poverty also includes this one. So first, what they have done is about food security in different dimensions. So all the poor people are given cooked meals. Cooked meals were given plus clean drinking water. First, they arranged the food security part because that is most important. Now, second, they gave health care. Around 6K people were treated with all kinds of palliative care as well as organ transplants were also given. And next, livelihood. Around 5K people were given jobs in micro industries. So that is how jobs were given, employment was generated, because of which everything was done micro business aid. Then the life project, then basically the financial support, whatever was there, came from life mission plus MNREGS. So all of them together, if you look at it, you will see that food security was covered, healthcare was covered, livelihood was covered, financial support was covered with all the missions, and money was also given, because of which all this was basically successful because of basically one simple word, decentralized. Nothing to do with the center. Decentralized governance plus local administration. So that led to this beautiful achievement that the state people were able to take care of their own people without the big support from the center. This is called proper federal structure. That is how every state should function. That is how every state should remove extreme poverty, and all of the states should achieve the SDG goal of 1, which is eradicate poverty. Now for this, the notes is being provided. What is the mission? Extreme poverty eradication, Kerala Institute of Local Administration, Kerala's poverty only 0.7% according to Niti Aayog. Implementation reached so many families, support system for kids were provided, free treatment was given, funding was provided. Like that, they achieved this beautiful task of SDG 1, removing extreme poverty. End of the video, you have mains as well, questions, please answer them. Next important topic is agri-tech, a big part of FTA negotiation with India, Mekele. This with respect to New Zealand, India and New Zealand, that is the whole point. So we have to understand from different dimensions. After a long time, India and New Zealand. So the context is about India, New Zealand, FTA. In this FTA, the major concentration is about agri-technology, agri-tech benefits. That is the whole game they are talking about. That's the first thing that a student has to know. This is the fourth round of FTA which is going on. Fourth round of FTA negotiations which is happening in Auckland. It is led by Piyush Goyal and Todd McLeay from New Zealand. Basically, the target is to increase two targets. Increase farm productivity, that means per acre. That's the first target they are looking for. For every acre, the amount of plants which are growing should increase. Second, to make the farmer's income double. These are the two major targets that this trade deal is fundamentally looking at. So, what is New Zealand offering? That is the first thing. New Zealand is offering first one, precision farming, that means perfect farming practices. Precision farming, that is the first thing that New Zealand is offering, which is perfect kind of farming. Then soil irrigation techniques, that is the second thing that New Zealand is offering, soil irrigation. It's offering smart irrigation techniques and then soil quality techniques. So these are the three major dimensions in which New Zealand is offering its technology towards India for agri-tech. So soil analytics, so for maintaining soil quality, it is providing all the analytical data. So that is what New Zealand is offering to India with respect to its technology. So fundamentally its target is to produce more with less amount of inputs. So that is called nothing but a climate smart technology. Climate smart technology and irrigation is what New Zealand wants to offer India. So what they want here is they want to transfer technology but not flooding the market. Ante ఊరికే నువ్వు టెక్నాలజీ చేయడం, not flooding technology, but they want to just transfer the technology and know-hows to the Indian farmers and increase this one. And their focus was on, they're also planning for a joint R&D program, and they're also working on farming practices and new irrigation techniques. These are the three dimensions in which New Zealand and India wants to do work for the future. These are all the dimensions in which they want to work. So for this there is no deadline basically. So how is it useful to New Zealand and India? Because of this, what happens is both the countries, India and New Zealand, want to do something called trade diversification, and especially they are looking for Pacific markets. Not specific Pacific markets. That is a rule for it. Now because of this, what happens is, it is from India side, it is very good for Atmanirbhar Bharat. Next, more tradable markets will come and more international relations will bring us more partners into the picture, and because of which again we are going to have beautiful agri startup culture again. That is very, very important. Now once this startup culture comes, it gives jobs, employment opportunities, a new industry and a better standard of living for the youth of the country. That means once youth is involved, we are talking about demographic dividend. It is very, very good, And finally, all these things will give us food security, economic security, farmers' incomes are going to increase, more trade partners will be there for us, and Indo-Pacific region will be the new market for which all these things will be very, very useful for both the countries. So this is a different kind of technology based FTA. So very good for India as well as for New Zealand. More trading partners, more business, it is good for everyone. So that is how the analysis has to be done. So for this, the background I have referred, Agritech Focus and Innovation, PM Christopher Luxon instructed Macaulay to help India achieve its doubling its farm income by 2030. Negotiation challenges, domestic farmers from cheap imports, especially dairy, wool, meat products. FTAs with so many countries we have done, but ensure tech transfer without market distortion. That means they don't want to just flood technology. Wherever there is use, they want to give the technology. Trade diversification very important. Agritech cooperation is very important. India's agenda, farm to globe. This concept is very important for your mains. Please mention this in your mains answer. Farm to globe. That is very important. So like that, end of the video, you have mains as well as prelims questions. Please answer them. Next important article, highest FPI sell-off signals waning confidence in India. That means all the money is going out, and what are the reasons for it? So the portfolio investors, especially the foreign portfolio investors, they have sold 1.5 lakh crore. That is the reason Nifty, Bank Nifty, Sensex, all of them fell down by 1000 points, 100 points, 800 points, like that. So this is the largest sell-off in 20 years, which is a very bad thing, negative effect. Why? Because the investors' confidence is going on because the rupee is not being stable. So the NSDL data reflects declining global confidence is completely reducing a lot because overvaluation and slow earnings growth is happening. That is a major reason. Next point, market stretch. If you see the P/by ratio, that means price to earning ratio, India trades 22 times the earnings high compared to emerging markets, which is so much. Therefore, the confidence too much increase, that is, they are not able to bear. That means the stocks have become very, very expensive related to profitability. So more than the cost, the profitability, the costs have increased. So it's like one share value, instead of 5 rupees, it has become 50 rupees. Therefore, the profitability of that particular share from 50 rupees maximum will go to 60 rupees. But if you are buying the share at 5 rupees and you are selling at 15 rupees, you are getting 3 times. But 50 becoming 150 is very difficult. 50 can maximum go to 50 or 60. So since the shares have, costs of the shares have expensive, the profit margins have reduced. More incoming money is there, but the profitability for the people who have invested, that percentage has reduced a lot. Why? Because the cost of the product has increased. You can't take the cost of the product from 50 to 150. You can take the cost of the product from 5 rupees to 15 rupees. That is okay. 10 rupees only increase. But 50 to 150, you have to increase 100 points. Which is very, very difficult. That is the reason they have lost a lot of confidence in the market, and therefore the lot of selling is happening and a lot of people are leaving the Indian markets because the cost is increasing, profitability is reducing. That is a major point. Now FPI gains earlier came from investors from China, but that phase is also lost. So that is the reason why FPIs, foreign portfolio investors, are leaving the Indian markets. Economic signals behind the sell-off. Nominal GDP growth is equal to single digits. That is a major reason. Our market is more like less jobs, more growth, which is dangerous. So earnings can't grow in double digits. That is a major reason. 22 times, very, very bad. Investors now expect only 10 to 11% earnings growth, not 15 to 20%. That is a major reason. And because of this, the private capex slowdown is also very, very weak. Weak household incomes are not good. Therefore, when incomes are not good, demand for the products will decrease. And always remember, if your economy has to be stable, the domestic demand should be super. If the domestic demand is not super, that means people don't have money, they will not be ready to spend. They will get into saving mode. Once they go into savings mode, people will not spend. If they don't spend, government will not get taxes. That means the growth ratio, the growth movement will completely reduce. Either the income should increase or the cost of the product should decrease. Either of these two things only will help the whole economy grow very, very, very nicely. Apart from this, the global factors are deglobalization trend. That is a major reason. Global liquidity impact is also very much. Global liquidity is also impacting the markets very badly. Government's push on infrastructure and transfers have pushed and fall, but not reverse the trend. This beautiful feature is called middle income trap. That means economies risk growing before reaching high income status. That is a major reason. These are the reasons why the FPIs have lost interest in the Indian markets. So that is what you have to understand. End of the video, you have mains as well as prelims questions. Please try to answer them. Next important article for today is the rankings of Indian universities. Chinese universities dominate QS Asia rankings. India slips. So what is this QS? That is what you have to first understand. Very important for prelims. It's called QS means Quakerly Simons. Released Asia University Rankings 2026. It's a very important point for prelims, especially that QS part. Very, very important for prelims. China surpasses India as the most represented country of universities. China has 394 universities, while India has only 294 universities. New India, 294 universities, 132 were added, but in China, 259 new were added. Total ranked 1,526 universities, including 557 new entries were there. India loses in this race in 2024-2025 edition. QS is nothing but Quakerly Simons. It's a UK-based higher education analytics firm founded in 1990. So it's a UK-based one, therefore very important for prelims. Next, QS World University Rankings. WR started in 2004. Earlier it was in partnership with Times Higher Education, separated in 2010. This is the basics of that QS thing. Next, India's performance. Top Indian institutes, IIT Delhi 59th. From 44th it went to 59th, very bad. Other Indian institutes, top 100, only IISc Bangalore, from 62 it went to 64th, IIT Madras from 56th to 70th, IIT Bombay, IIT Kharagpur, all these things at 95. 7 institutes in top 100, same number but lower ranks. This is the essence of that ranking system. China has assigned 25 Chinese universities in top 100, India has only 7. This is very, very bad, negative point. And apart from that, the chart has been dominated by Hong Kong universities, Singapore as well as China. So we are not able to compete with even these countries. That is a problem with this one. So the rankings show that we are not putting enough money into the research and development, and no big projects, no real-time projects, skill-based projects not there. Therefore, the university rankings have come down. We are not adding more universities. Though the population is increasing, the universities are not getting added. Therefore, no one is interested, and the ranks of India have slipped very badly. So for this, mains and prelims questions, please check it out. First, today's questions. First one, Amazon region based question. Next, Kerala's extreme poverty question. India New Zealand trade question. Then portfolio management question. Then you have QS based question. Key is provided. Now let's look at the mains questions. First question, discuss the significance of COP30 of Brazil in Amazon factor, climate equity, India's climate diplomacy. So discuss is the whole point. Next, explain how Kerala's extreme poverty, decentralized government, models, SDG framework and elimination program, how did it bring inclusion into the whole point. Next question, how can agriculture technology cooperation under trade agreements strengthen India's farm sector? Then discuss with reference to India New Zealand FTA talks. Next important question, critically analyze the macroeconomic implications of recent FPI outflows, the concept of middle income trap, and how it is going to affect India's growth story and changing perception. That is the whole point. Next, India's decline in QS Asia rankings highlights deep structural gaps, and examine this with respect to competitiveness in research and innovation, and suggest new forms of enhanced growth for Indian universities. So that's all for today. Chaman Padikola signing off. Bye-bye.